good morning. Get up, yawn, cough, say your prayers, do anything you gotta do to get the day started. Down, we back at it once again.
We back again, man.
We
We
this
back
like I'm
with
always
another
gonna
one.
say, man. Till we do our podcast on our private jet. We ain't make it yet.
We ain't make it yet, man. We're in motion, though.
We're in motion.
We're in
We're
motion.
off the ground. a little
What?
bit, just a
Listen, we
little bit.
doing a little bit. Yo, listen, we always got to talk about that because we always remember where we came from.
Yeah.
And where we at today is the
You
blessing.
already know, man.
But, man, before we jump into this, man, you already know we want to give a big shout out to our sponsors today before we start this thing off, man. You already know Little Dreams, Big Dreams, man. Mobile training. Listen, call him. He was in New York training, man. So, listen, you better hit him up, man. If you're looking for that service, you want somebody to come to your door to eliminate your excuses, hit my man Craig Mitchell up. You already know what it is, man. We got Team Chisel. You already know we located at 2695 South Broad Street, man. We got you. We can get you right. Make sure y'all pull up and give a big shout out to Kenya who sponsored our whole month of March, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for the love and support, man. And when we jump into this now, man, we got our man. We got Mike Milton, man. The one and only, man. Knew Mike for a long time since I was a young boy out there, man. So we're going to let him introduce himself, though, man. You can introduce yourself,
What's up,
my
man?
brother.
How you guys doing, man?
Man,
Mike,
great.
Man, Mike Melton. You know what I'm saying? Long time owner of Basketball Spotlight. Recently retired from that. Now I actually teach at a rehab with kids, man. Adolescents, substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, things of that nature, man. And I just love what these Team Chisel brothers is doing. You get what I'm saying? And I made a turn into changing my health after going through some things and seeing some things, and I just wanted to come on, man, to share my experience for hope.
And we
You know what I'm saying?
appreciate that, man. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate that. So everybody know this is how fitness changed our lives, man. Mike got a very interesting story of his journey. Right? Tell us first, right, about the turning point, what made the turning point through your struggles, a little bit of your struggles, or what you was facing, what you was going through, and what got you to that turning point for change.
My story is crazy because most of the stuff blew up like way back in 2009 when I found my wife murdered, and then 2 days later I realized I was the suspect. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Oh.
And it took 6 years for them to figure out what happened to my wife.
Yes.
So during that time, my alcoholism went crazy. I became an alcoholic in college. I know that. I went over the line, but it was still partying and chilling and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when that happened, alcohol changed. It went to a whole nother level. And so 6 years, they figured out who did it. I went to rehab. I didn't think I was an alcoholic. I came back out, and then I was drinking again, and it took us 4 more years to go to trial for the people that did it. So then that's 10 years out of my life. By the time we got to trial, I was drinking more than a fifth a day.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I had to testify, and because I'm the one that found her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And after that, once I went to rehab, I had did the 12 steps. The first time I went to rehab, I didn't think I had a problem. When I went back, out of desperation, I opened the book for the first time and I did the 12 steps. And after step 4 and 5, I found God. Like the Holy Spirit entered me. And then step 4, you gotta do a more inventory of your life. And step 5, you gotta tell everything to your sponsor and God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to admit all my faults, all my secrets, everything to another person. You know what I'm saying? And it broke me.
Wow.
And after that, that's when God entered me, and then my life changed. So then I started living a whole different life, and I knew how to break addiction at that point. Any kind of addiction that I had, I knew how to break it.
Wow.
So the next one was I had to break the sex addiction. I had that for years. I had to break the smoking addiction.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Smoking Black and Milds and all that stuff. And I used the same steps. So when it came time for my health, what happened was I started listening to this dude about 2-3 years ago, the Minister of Wellness, and he talked about people being a food addict. And he's real rough, but he Israelite like I am, but he real. He keep it real because his dad died being obese. He was a pastor, so he took it upon himself to make that his movement. He started talking about being a food addict, and I was listening to him, and I'm like, I don't think I'm one. I might be one. I don't know. So I kept trying to do the diet he was talking about. I do good for like 3 weeks to a month, then I go back. Then I do good again, then I go back. I even was getting my colon cleaned and all of that kind of stuff, but I couldn't stop eating the food. So one night, man, I had Shabbat on Saturday, being an Israelite, and
Which
we
Shabbat?
can't Church. It's like
Church.
church, but we go, but we celebrate the Sabbath. So
Okay.
Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, our total dedication is to God.
Okay.
So I don't. That's why I don't post during that time. I take all social media apps off my phone.
Yes.
And we give him our total concentration.
Okay.
I don't talk on the phone unless it's about God. I don't do none of that. I don't work. That's why I had to stop doing my basketball tournaments because it was on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
So we not allowed to shop till the sunset the next day.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So the next day come and I'm like, you know what, man, I'm tired of this. I'm about to really do this diet thing. So I leave from Shabbat and I go to ShopRite and I get fruits and vegetables, all the stuff he say that we supposed to get. So I'm on my way home and I'm driving down 18. I live in Freehold, and right off 18 is a pizza place and a Mexican place right next door to each other.
Hey.
So I'm like, I'm gonna start tomorrow. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do this tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you know how it goes.
That's how it
You
go,
know how
though.
it goes. You
That's
know
how
it
it
goes. So I pull into the place and I pull up in front of the store. They right next door, so it's a quick hit. I get out the car, and the spirit like, don't do that to yourself. Get back in the car, man. I get back in the car. Then I get out the car again. And the spirit like, man, just go home. So I get in the car. I drive on my way out of the complex.
Yeah.
It's a CVS right there on the corner. I go around the CVS and come all the way back around in front of the store again.
Oh, you was fighting.
And I was, I'm about to get there. I'm about to get there. I'm about to get there. You asked me for the moment.
Yeah,
Just the
you
moment.
got it. You got it.
And I was about to get out the car again, and then it hit me. You used to do the same thing for alcohol.
Oh.
Wow.
And that's when, and all of the pain that I
Wow.
felt when I realized I was an alcoholic, all of those emotions came to me again.
Wow.
The shame, the guilt,
Wow.
like something else, something had control over
Control
me
of-
like this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, like, nah, nothing ain't like, and then those same thing. And I told you I know how to break addictions
Yeah.
by doing the steps. So it was like, I'm not gonna die like this, bro.
Wow.
And I had 4 friends in 2 years that died from their health.
Health.
Yes.
And the oldest one was 56. And the youngest one was 49.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was in the hospital with 2 of them, and when they was dying. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
the
when you
experience.
see this stuff, and I'm a person, I'm gonna take something from anybody around me that dies. I look at their life and see what can I learn from that.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
a smart
Yeah.
man learns from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
A fool is the one that has to learn from his own.
Facts.
And I've been a fool for
Yeah.
a long time.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
now I'm looking at what other people are doing, and I'm like, I don't want to die like that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So then I really dug in. And another thing, I'm just being 100. As Israelites, you come out of the world of living in terms of we live set apart life. And I got my wife, and my wife, it was hard work getting her to this point.
Yeah.
And I'm not dying that some other dude gonna benefit from the
Yeah.
work I did.
Yeah,
You
you
get what
gotta
I'm
be-
saying? I put it, she know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. I put in
look.
all these years of
Yeah.
work. I got her doing the things that she needs to
Yeah,
do as
yeah.
a woman. And then I check out. And then
Yeah.
some other dude come
She
in,
just
he
slide
get his
in,
plate.
just-
You get what I'm saying? Nah, that ain't
Yeah.
going down.
Nah.
Just being 100.
Nah, that's what's
you know what
up.
I'm saying? But on the seriousness, and I started to research health in our people. I
Okay.
started researching the FDA. I started
Yeah.
researching
There we go.
all that kind of stuff about how the food is created to get us addicted.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then
Yep.
and then we get addicted to the food, then they get us on their medicine. And that's
Yes.
the whole goal. Because once you take one pill, it's gonna be a side effect. You're gonna
Another
need 2.
pill.
Yeah.
Then you need another pill. Then you
Yeah.
need another pill. Then they got you. Then you got one of
Man,
those
you
things.
talking my talk.
Then you got one of these
Yeah.
things with all them pills on it. You get
Yep.
what I'm saying? So I started studying all of that. I started studying and just looking at our people, man. One of the things that really hit me was to go to the funerals and then go to the repast and see us eating the same food that killed the person.
Now that's deep. I ain't never even really.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't really dive deep into that conversation right there, cause that's a deep one.
Not just the food.
Yeah.
But Mike,
Yeah.
Mike, I gotta ask you something. First of all, you drinking? Would you say you was drinking today?
When I went to rehab
You
the
said
first
drink
time, I
fifth?
was drinking a pint a day, and then when I went, they told me though when I went the first time, and I ain't feel feel like I was an alcoholic. They told me, when you come back, you're going to be drinking twice as much. And I laughed at them. I said, man, I ain't never coming back here.
So-
then when I went back again, I was drinking a fifth a day.
So first of all, you drinking the fifth a day, you'd have been my boy.
I remember you used to drink. I used to see you out there. I remember.
But another thing,
Y'all have been rolling.
To get on a serious note, what's going through my mind is now. On a serious question, when your wife got murdered and they thought you was a suspect, since they thought you was a suspect, since you was drinking stuff, did you start second guess yourself on that? Like start thinking, am I a suspect?
Nah. That's why I tell people, like, I don't know if you guys ever been in there in the I know y'all probably got questions about police and what's name, but when you in that interrogation room for murder, it's a whole different ball game. And I understand why people tell you now that you should always have a lawyer when you go in. They took me straight from the scene. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in there. And first they put you on ice.
Yeah.
I went to one place and I was just sitting there. They ain't even take me in the room. I was at the Neptune City Police Station and they was like, I was just sitting there waiting and they was like, nah, we gotta take you to the prosecutor's office. It was around the corner of Asbury. So I go to the prosecutor's office and they set me in the room for an hour. Later on, I found out they had brought some guy in to study my body language for that whole hour. But then when you go in and you sit down and they questioning you, they're so tactical, bro. I knew I was 100% innocent, and I was sitting there. They had me like, damn, was I there?
No,
That's what I want to know.
what,
No, I'm dead serious.
That's
I'm dead serious. Like when you in
That's why I
there,
just
they so tactical at their questions.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So when you sitting there, and I'm like, damn, was I there? Like, and then but God, He blessed me so, man. First I had and this is why I always say, and I know some people out there are gonna be mad or whatever, but it ain't always the white people that's the enemies, man. Because I had a guy that was a lawyer that was white, that was a friend, that said, I'm representing you pro bono because they gonna try to put this on you. And it was the black detectives that was trying to take me down. See, when you went to that, on that level, they move up. Yeah, because that's the county prosecutors.
Yes.
So busting a case like my wife's case, you automatically gonna move up to like sergeants and lieutenants and all of this kind of stuff. So they don't care about your color or none of that. Them black dudes, they was trying to get me. And then there was a white cop that came on in 2015, and he said as soon as he looked at the file, he knew I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Oh wow!
And he called me. And he was like, "Yo, I need to talk to you because I know you don't got nothing to do with this." You know what I mean? And up to that point. They was vicious, bro. The black cops, they came to my wife's funeral and was questioning people. The day after my lawyer, like y'all can watch all this. It's on A&E Cold Case Files.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. It's on TV.
Yeah, it's on A&E Cold Case Files. The day after my lawyer died, 2 days later, they came knocking on my door, bro. After the funeral. Yeah. Like a couple of them was at the funeral because they knew he was gone, so now we could try to get him to come in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
your lawyer died?
Yeah, this happened in 2009. My lawyer died.
Wow, man. You got him.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, I'm going to tell you what happened. So this happened 2009, 2013. I get a phone call from my lawyer. So I'm like, what's up, Ron? He like, I got bad news. My heart dropped. I'm thinking I'm about to be arrested. And he was like, Mike, I got brain cancer. I'm like, what you mean you got brain cancer? He like, Mike, I got brain cancer. 6 months later, he was gone, man.
Dang.
And 2 days later, after he died, they was knocking on my door trying to get me to talk to them. But he had told me, he schooled me. He said, don't never talk to them because they're going to try to act like they're your friends, but their only job is to arrest you. Yeah. So when the new cop came on, it took me a year to talk to him because I ain't trust him. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So then once he told me like, but what really changed everything for me, when he talked to me, one thing he said to me, I was like, all right, he said, even if we don't convict these dudes, I'm gonna give you your life back. And nobody never said that to me before. Nobody cared. Yeah. Like when I was in that situation, it was like, you go sit over there we gonna do an investigation. You can't go to. I had to work in the school, behind the school in the board of education. I couldn't be around no kids. I couldn't go to no school. I couldn't do nothing. I just had to go to work at the board and go home. You get what I'm saying? So he was like, we gonna get you your life back. You know what I mean? And I cried because up to that point, nobody cared about no, I'm the husband and nobody cared about how I felt, what was going on with me, and nothing.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So it was like, and I was in Monmouth County. Like if I'm up in Mercer County, most people know me like, Mike can't do that, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like I was a tourist in a whole nother place. And it was a rough time, bro. I contemplated suicide a couple times, and I know this not we supposed to.
Now
be
you
talking
good?
about
No,
this.
nah, this is it. Nah, this is it. You got it. That's it, bro. This is what this is. This all leads to what we talking about.
Yeah, no, I contemplated suicide a couple times, man. All that stuff, man. But what it also did for me, man, it made me respect addicts and especially heroin addicts and stuff like that, because I never knew how somebody could stick a needle in their arm until I was in so much pain that I would do anything for it to stop. I never tried that or nothing, but it made me respect them because I don't know their story.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got to that point.
Yeah.
And then I thank God, man, because I ain't gonna lie, bro. I mean, we all from Trenton. Y'all know that he kept my sanity, bro. You know how many people that we walk around and we see that was gone?
Yes.
And I thought I was gonna be that person. You see them all in front of the liquor store, they talking to themselves, doing this and doing that. Like, I thought I was gonna be that person, man. And the funny thing is, and I'm not advocating drinking, what the one doctor told me was the alcohol sedated my brain enough where I didn't have to think about what I was going
other
through.
things. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he said you got addicted to it, but you didn't have to sit and stress about that situation to the point to where it drove you crazy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? The alcohol sedated your brain enough. And but it was rough, bro. It was rough.
Like,
Like,
ask your question now,
Man.
Where you at now?
if I make it to September, if I make it to
Where you
Tuesday.
at now, where you at with yourself? Where you at with yourself? Where your mental at now?
Oh no, that's what I'm about to tell you. If I make it to Tuesday, I had 6 years sober, bro.
Oh, congratulations.
You know what I mean? I'm
an
an Israelite. I got the Holy Spirit in me. I understand now that was my testimony.
Yeah.
And the reason how I found out, like, what it was I'm in the rehab and like I said, I was in this group called Back to Basic where they take you through the 12 steps.
Yeah.
So they give you a sponsor. I had this young white kid and he was my sponsor, and so we do step 1, 2, and 3. Like, I got a problem. I was insane.
Yeah.
I need God to help me. That's step 2. And step 3, you turn your life over to God. I'm gonna do that because I'm scared.
Yeah.
But when we got to step 4, man, people started quitting in the group because that's when you got to get real. So you got to do an inventory about your life. I had to write down my whole sexual life. I had to write down all the people I had resentments towards, all the people I harmed, and all my fears. So I write all of this stuff out, and I see myself for the first time in black and white, and I'm disgusted because I really didn't know I was that bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I could rationalize stuff in my head, but when I see myself on these papers, and I see the patterns of my behavior, you get what I'm saying? And then it got real. I take it to my sponsor. I go to his house, and he looked at the paper and he said, "I think we ready." So I had to sit down and tell this white kid all the exact truths of everything that's on the paper. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then once I got done, I felt like this because the ego and pride was shattered because another man know everything about me.
Yeah.
I don't got no secrets
Yeah.
no more.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So now I feel naked, I feel ashamed, I feel everything. And then he said, we got to pray. And he said, we got to pray for 3 things: for God to forgive you, for God to make you a better person, and for God to give you strength to forgive yourself. And I looked at him. He said, you got to forgive yourself. You was sick.
Yeah.
So we prayed. He said, now go back to your room. And he said, and sit for an hour and meditate about what we did. So I went back to the room, man, and I was on my way to go lay down in the bed. and this warm sensation just went through my whole body, and this voice came in my head and said, all you gotta do is serve me, and you never gotta worry about nothing else.
Wow.
Damn.
So then it was like blinders came off my eyes, and all I wanted to do was serve God. I had never felt nothing like that in my life. So then I was like, God, why did you allow all this to happen to me? For her to be murdered, for me to find her, for me to be the suspect, and for me to become an alcoholic. And 2 weeks later, I was at the end of the rehab, and it was the first time I ever told my story. And there was 150 people in the room.
Yeah.
And from the last person that just came in and the owner, everybody in there. And when I told the story, everybody froze. And it was like they was looking through me.
Yeah.
And that's when it hit me that none of that stuff had nothing to do with me. He allowed me to get through it so I could use my testimony to go help save people's lives. And on that time, that's when I found my purpose in life.
Yeah.
So then I was like, yo, this is it. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. Because we all got a story.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you either going to use your story for two reasons. You're going to use it for as a testimony to help others, or you're going to use it as an excuse to destroy yourself.
Yes.
True.
You get what I'm saying?
True.
So that's how
Man.
I got to this point, man.
Deep.
Right, listen.
Deep.
Yeah, this is deep, bro.
Yeah.
But man,
It's a
I
lot
can
to
really,
unpack,
yeah,
huh?
right. So, right, listen, no, because right, when you, right, this like, God do things in ways we don't understand. First and foremost, right. And when you speaking and saying a lot of things, right, I can relate to a lot, not about wife being killed and not like that, but right, I experienced that way in death with my father. When my father killed himself.
That's what I thought.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's what I thought.
With suicide, you feel what I'm saying? With that part, because it drove me to drink more.
Yeah.
Feel me? Because I
Yeah.
still had to be the man, still had to be the head,
Yeah.
still had to take responsibility for everybody else.
Yeah.
And nobody knew how I was feeling truly inside.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? So when you say that and you saying how you started drinking more and more and more, that was me.
Yep.
Right?
Wow.
Yep.
I fell along them same lines and paths, but to watch you sit here and explain something that you went through, right?
Yeah.
All it does is give more people hope.
Indeed.
You feel what I'm saying? Because they don't
Indeed.
have to go through the same experience the exact way.
Indeed.
But
Indeed.
we battling with certain things similar.
Indeed. Indeed.
Right?
Indeed.
And you just me, because it took me so much, right, to relieve myself from not blaming myself anymore about my dad's death.
I'm gonna get to that too.
Listen, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the struggle part, and just
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Now
let you go.
talking
I ain't gonna
that
take
talk.
yeah
Now you
because
talking that talk,
right.
'cause
Do you feel,
I went
and that's
through
what I
that.
was gonna ask you, right? Did you
Yeah.
feel you was at any fault for that? Because
100%.
I know when that happened with my father, I took the whole like it was me who did it. Like it was my fault initially, and just because of steps, how things played out and went, I really blamed myself. Even the night that it happened and a situation went down, and I'm not taking away from your highlight.
No,
'cause it's
no, go ahead,
important.
brother.
A situation went down, right? So I shows up, right, and that my mom and dad did, but I'm like, yo, y'all stressing me the fuck out with this shit, right? To myself, boom. My dad pulled back up, like, yo, get in the car, I want to talk to you. I'm like, fuck, no, I'll talk to you in the morning. I'm tired of this shit. The morning never came. So I blame myself over and over for that shit, yo.
Wow.
I ain't get healed until I went to prison.
Wow.
When I really was able to release myself, and I learned mechanisms to write all the shit down on paper and throw it in the garbage. I really ain't expressed too much to people until I really started believing in God, going to church. But all my expressions really came on paper because I was reading a book and it was like, yo, to remove weight off your shoulder and baggage, write it down, throw it away. It's like you getting rid of it and you removing it. Just look like you taking bits by pieces of chunks away from you every time you do it and throw it in the garbage. And I just started doing that every day, yo, writing down my emotions, how I'm feeling, what got me to the point, and balling it up, throw them in the garbage. And I just started feeling better. The next thing I start reading the Bible more, getting it to God, right?
praises.
Finding myself,
praises.
doing all this. And that's when I was able to heal and like, that ain't my fault, man. People like, yo, it's not your fault, bro. That ain't your fault. So, man, how did you feel? And I'm going to let you speak on, did you blame yourself anywhere along the line?
100%. It was, I remember like, because I filed for divorce. And the reason I filed for divorce was I was wilding. You know what I mean? Me and my friends, we traveling, we going to all these places, we doing this and doing that. And I started to feel bad. Like, yo, because she said I could do whatever I wanted to do, but I felt bad. Like, yo, I can't keep doing this to her. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna file for divorce, and once I get done doing this wilding, I'm gonna double back. You know what I mean? And so, and it was partly because a lot of it had to do with that. My mom was super strict, like mean, like super duper strict growing up, because she ain't never want me to go to jail. She ain't never want me, and my dad wasn't in my life. So I married this bubbly, nice, loving woman, and I was too damaged to accept her kind of love.
That's deep.
You get what I'm saying? So she wasn't a hug on me after work. Where you going? This and that. And bro, it made me feel weird. It made me feel like, leave me alone. It made me feel like that because I was too messed up. Now, when this happens, I remember my doctor tells me, you got to go straight into therapy, straight into counseling. So then I go to this place, and first they give me this whacked out psychiatrist lady, and then they give me this therapist named Steve. I'll never forget, super cool dude. So I go in to see Steve, and Steve is like, he want to talk about what I seen at the scene. He want to talk about this and that. I didn't want to talk about none of that. I said, I want to know why I couldn't love her like she loved me. Because this is all that's on my mind. If I was a better husband, she wouldn't have been living there. This wouldn't have happened. What's wrong with me? So for all those years, I'm drinking because of what happened to her. I'm drinking because I'm scared. And I'm drinking because I don't know what's wrong with me. Why? All she wanted to do was love me and be up under me. Why I felt weird. So, the steps. You get what I'm saying? See, the inventory is like, you know when the plane crashed and they say they looking for that black box? That's the inventory.
Okay.
So when you go, if you do a proper fourth step and you look into your inventory, you can figure out what's wrong with you in any area. So when I went in, my counselor, my therapist in rehab, and my sponsor, we all worked together. I was able to pinpoint it was the way I was raised and my father not being there. So I didn't know how to accept that kind of love or give it. You get what I'm saying? But up to that point, I didn't know that. So I was killing myself because I was carrying that guilt. Of like, damn, like if you was this, you was that, this wouldn't have never happened. But if it wasn't for me actually looking at myself and doing that inventory, I was able to pinpoint that I never had a shot.
You never had a chance?
I never had a shot at that kind of love at that point.
Because I look at your story now and I'm thinking like, we had basically the same story. Me, I had a bad drinking problem. Other than me, know what I did, Mike? And I'm going on 7 years of no drinking, no smoking. But I prayed and I woke up one morning and it was over. For
God
me.
lifted.
I'm talking I ain't go no AA, no AA, no nothing. I ain't even get a counselor, nothing. He just lifted from me. But I did, in 6 months within not drinking, I did have a good conscience and the bad conscience come over my shoulder. I was at the crib one day and something said, "Oh, you doing good now. You got money. You can have a drink, cut your phone off. You can have black mail." I swear to God, I was sitting there. So I looked and something came and said, "You know, if you do it, you're going to get in your car, you're going to try to drive around, you're going to call everybody." And I just started laughing. And then it just went off. And I'm sitting in the crib just thinking, I just started smiling. And I'm going on like 7 years of cold turkey. And to me, just personally to me, who I'm dealing with right now, she my counselor. She know everything about me. She know like everything I'm talking about. Like she see me more than I see myself. When you dealing with somebody, they know everything.
They look at
This my way how I handle my business. I prayed all through the day.
100%.
Yes. I'm saying I'm praying right now.
Right now, I need it.
But I'm saying, like, and I think she my counselor, but I'm just sitting up here thinking like, it's a struggle, man. People don't know what you
100%.
Look, I was Mike. Look, I'm doing the same thing I'm doing now. I'm training people. I'm saying this man just might come to me like, "Thank you, man, for saving my life," and everything, but you drowning. I'm telling you, they ain't even know. If everybody just would hug me, I probably broke down.
Not even, and you give an interesting point, bro. Like perception is something. I remember at the height. Now, mind you, while this 10 years going on, I got the #1 basketball company in the country in terms of doing middle school AAU events in the country. Now, I'm on full pilot because this is the only thing that, and I know God it now, that's saving my life. That I can concentrate on this. People, some cool, some that wasn't cool, was showing mad envious and jealousy, not knowing I wanted their life.
Wow. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they don't know when I leave
Yeah.
from this
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know if tomorrow
broke
they coming.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people don't know this is what I'm dealing with. All they
Yeah.
see is they counting the number of teams.
Teams.
They counting the people
Trying to
coming
see people
through
coming through the
door.
doors.
Yeah,
They say money.
Yeah.
He could be making this. They count pockets.
Yeah. Not understand it. I'm
Yeah.
dying inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I felt it, man. I'm
This-
telling you, I felt it, man.
Yeah,
I
indeed.
felt it, man.
Indeed.
With all this and what you say, man, and this is why when we say like how fitness changed our lives, it comes in multiple ways and facets, right? How people make these steps, right? A lot of this stuff when we say it's fitness, how it changed our life, not per se, and just you got to be working out all the time because it's a mental thing. A lot of this stuff are mental, emotional, physical, financial, right? We talking about a list of things, yo. And when you speak on some things, and when you spoke on struggling, we're going into a pizza place, leaving out, coming back. That's a mental fight, right? That's that fight where you fighting that second person, right? So this is what we talk about
No, I ain't
fitness
even go in the store.
and overcoming
I was blessed.
and overcoming some things.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying?
yeah.
But that's the fight, right?
Yeah.
That was the fitness, right? And
Yeah.
then you hit how you witnessed some of your partners passing away from health issues.
Yeah,
Right, like,
yeah.
oh, and you there with them, experiencing
Yeah.
in the hospital with them, seeing this and taking notes. And this is what, when we talk about this, and this is what people struggle with daily in
Yes.
life.
Mm-hmm.
Male,
Yes, Doc.
female.
Yes,
This is
Doc.
what we struggle
You right.
with daily.
You right.
From things of our past
Nah, you right.
that we carry the weight around so much that it destroys us mentally. But we cover up from other ways,
you
from
preaching
drinking,
right now. You
right?
preaching
From
right
drinking,
now.
we could put on clothes, we
Yeah.
could put makeup
Yeah.
on, we
Yeah.
go get haircuts,
Yeah.
we go do all this shit to cover up the hurt and pain from past shit that never helps. So through fitness, through life-changing ways, through the mental approach of things is how we make change in our life and how we create stories and a testimony to help inspire someone else, man. So I applaud you for them steps, right? Because it look at me and myself, what I did and how I had to overcome. And then to witness your story like, damn, how the fuck would I would have got through something like that?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Asking myself that, right? Because that's
Yeah.
just a different approach. But it's
Yeah.
like, damn, bro, strong, right?
Man,
Even
it's-
with the fight, bro. So
Yeah, it's
speak on that part, right? Because people would think that when something happened to us, that it's a simple, easy fix, right?
Nah,
it's
it's-
the
it's-
challenge.
it's,
How you said you had to go to rehab twice.
yeah, because you ain't ready till you ready.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't care what nobody else tell you.
Yes.
If you're an addict or alcoholic, I don't care who around you said. I don't care none of that. I thank God that He gave me the gift of desperation.
Yes.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
You hit that.
And then I opened
Yes.
that book. The second time I went, I opened the AA book for
Yeah.
the first time. The first time I went to rehab, bro, I'm telling you, I was drinking a pint a day, right? I go in there, I go to a couple of meetings. I heard this one dude say, he drink 1.75 liters. I know that's half gallon.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't like him.
Yeah.
Then another dude said, he drink hand sanitizers, hairspray, and I'm like, these dudes weird. I ain't like
Yeah.
none of these dudes. Then this other dude said, what do you drink? What's your morning rush? And I said, morning rush. He said, what you drink in the morning to get going? I said, man, I don't drink in the morning. But what I did was, I made almost a near fatal mistake. I compared myself to him instead of
somebody else.
identifying with him. Because we all had the same emotions and feelings before we took the drink.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm comparing myself to the thing. So
Yeah.
what happened was, and this dude, I think he ended up relapsing. He was a counselor, a tech there. Bro, I swear to God, I had a chair in my group, and he was rocking the chair in front of me, right? So I said, Chris, his name was Chris, why you keep shaking this chair in front of me? Excuse my language, but he said, I'm saving the seat for you because you ain't do shit while you was here.
Damn.
And when you come back, you're going to be drinking twice as much. And I laughed at him. But when I went back four years later, I was drinking more than a fifth a day. He was right.
Damn, he was right.
Wow.
And that's when I knew that
Yeah.
it was real. He told me that.
Yeah.
Bro, he came up to me and was shaking the chair right in front of me. And you know, you in that kind of state is getting on my nerves.
Yeah, yeah,
And then he
yeah.
told me that. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the thing about the whole journey is you have to get to the point to where I'm totally transparent. And the only
Yes.
way I could get to that point was that fifth step.
That's going through them steps.
Once I told that one person about everything,
Yeah.
nobody else can say nothing that's gonna hurt my feelings
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
What you gonna say? That I used to commit
Yeah.
adultery, that I'm an alcoholic, that
Yeah.
I did this. I told her.
Yeah, I told her. I told her already. It's out there already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what you gonna say?
I accepted it. It's out there
I
already.
took because, and this is something that you always gonna understand. Anybody that's listening out there, we only as sick as our secrets.
Say that again, though. That's deep.
Yeah,
Say
we
that
only
again.
as sick as our secrets, and Satan
Yeah.
plays on our secrets.
Yeah, that's
Whatever
what he
you
do.
think that's that secret that don't nobody know, he's gonna use that to keep you hostage.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So remember
Yes.
you watched 8 Mile and Eminem
Uh-huh.
got on stage and he said everything that the dude said before him.
Before
He
him.
took the power away from
Yes.
him. So when we put it out there and we use it to help other people, we take the power away
Yes,
from
you-
Satan.
Yeah.
So now he
Right
like,
there.
damn, I can't even use that
Yeah.
on him. He already said it.
Right
Yeah.
about that.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Nah, you
yes.
right. You
So
right.
but
That's- Brother, you
but
hit
the
it.
but the fitness thing, man, it's like I just knew that, and I only been doing this a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started out watching the video, then I became a vegan, then I started doing the vegan thing, and then I got deeper into it. Then I started getting detox. This dude named Bobby Price got a real good detox thing. I did his detox, and then I learned its levels. Then I became a whole food vegan, which is a whole different
Whole
thing.
different, yeah.
Yeah, because when I was doing the vegan thing at first, I still was eating vegan junk food.
Yeah.
A lot of the chicken tenders,
tenders
and
and,
chicken patties
yes.
and this and this
Yep.
and this and this. So then I'm listening to Bobby Price one day and he said, "No, you got to become a whole food vegan." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Everything you eat should be one ingredient."
One ingredient.
Like, so
Yep.
if you eating broccoli is broccoli.
Yep.
Spinach is
Spinach
spinach.
is yep.
Sweet potato, sweet
It's-
potato.
yep.
You can mix it all together, but if you gotta read it on a box,
And you gotta
ain't
go
got
all-
no business.
you ain't got no business eating it.
You ain't got no business eating
There
it.
you go.
So I started doing that because I started getting puffy again from eating the
Yeah,
the vegan junk
junk
food.
food.
Yeah, they got everything.
Everything
for you
out there. Everything.
Yeah,
Listen.
whatever you want, whatever you think, whatever you want something to taste like,
Listen.
they got it.
Yeah,
Now, I ain't
yeah.
gonna lie, like they got the cheesesteak place out in Philly. I had one of their joints. That joint tastes like a cheesesteak. It was
Cheesesteak,
mushrooms.
the mushrooms,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
they
joint was
talking about-
busted. That joint was
yeah.
busted. But I started doing that, and I just started living, and it's just super dope.
Yeah.
And it's dope being different.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
Yes.
like it's two things that why my relationship with God is so deep, man. You know what I mean? And excuse me, ladies, but I'm gonna have to talk about this, and it's I don't think it'll offend y'all, but this is real stories. 2011, Ron called me, and he was like, "What's wrong?" I was in a bad mood. This 2011. Up to that point, it happened in 2009. This 2011. He like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Ron, I can't go on living like this. Like, I've been praying for God to solve this case, and God won't solve it." And Ron said, "Mike, I've been in this field for 30 years. Most of these cases, they don't solve. You got to get used to living like this." And at that moment, I turned my back on God. And I went on every dating site it was, and I just got drunk, and I tried to fornicate with every woman I could. Because the instant gratification of the sex and the alcohol
Together.
helped me escape
Together, yeah.
what I was feeling.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, though. At first, I had a conscience. Then I remember developing a seared conscience. That's when you don't care no more.
Don't care.
Then I got to the point where I loved it. And that's when I became a reprobate. And if I would have died during any of that time, I was going to hell.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he loved me enough to pull me back out and was like, "Nah, I got something else for you to do." And he ain't have to do that.
Done yet.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always remember that, like, I was gone.
Yeah.
If I would have died during any of that time, I was going to hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the second thing was, my first wife, she used to always be like, "You know what your problem is? You don't know how to pick a side." She said, "You do bad things, you feel bad, but you do it again." She said, "Just be good or bad. I respect that more, be good or bad." So, and she was right. So I remember, right? I used to fly over to where I was going and, you know what I'm saying, see chicks or whatever, and I have a chick in the bed, and I go out and sit by the pool, drink, smoke my Black & Mild, and I'll be saying to myself, "Yeah, you think you're having fun, don't you? You over here fornicating, committing adultery, doing all this stuff with these women, this and this. But what you gonna do when you're 75, 80 years old, and you look back on your life, and you say, yeah, you did the basketball thing, But when it came to being a real man and it came to being a husband, you wasn't nothing. And I thought about having no time to fix. Deep. And I thought about having no time to fix nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I thought about how I would feel. And he gave me a chance to rewrite my life, bro.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's amazing, man.
It's amazing.
You get what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah, amazing.
Every
bro.
day I wake up, he gave me a
Listen.
shot.
I give everything.
Yeah.
So every day I wake up, I'm like, yo, I gotta go do this.
Yeah.
When I do my prayers in the morning, me and my wife spend about a half hour just in prayer before we go out for the day. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I always ask them, point me in the direction of somebody I can help.
Yeah.
Like I used all my selfish cards.
Yeah.
I tell people all
Wow.
the time, I drove the car for 44 years and all it did was get me a seat in AA.
Damn.
You know what I mean? My best
Yeah,
thinking.
That's deep.
Like my best thinking.
But that's deep.
It just gave me.
But not.
I drove the car for 44 years. I can't drive. I can't control my life.
Yeah.
I proved that when I'm in control of my life, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Damn, you hit it because I felt that way too. Shit, I felt the same way, boy. If I would never, I tell people, prison saved my life.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it does, man.
If
It
I didn't
does,
get
man.
that much time, the time saved my life. God
Yeah,
knew.
man.
I had to face a lot of time for me to change my life, bro. Because if I would have got 1 or 2 years, yo, I'd have felt like I ain't lose shit. I felt like I still was the man.
Yeah.
My thinking wasn't to change. I wasn't think about studying. And I say that because when I went and did a 6-month program, I bought notebooks and broke down how I'm gonna break down bricks of cocaine when I go home.
Wow.
Like when these
I
6
heard
months
you join up at when we went to Ryder, man.
Bro, I'm gonna break this shit down.
I need both of y'all, and I'm gonna put y'all on
Listen.
blast on this thing. I need both of y'all to come up and
I'm
talk
ready,
to my
man.
kids.
You got
Both of y'all, like I need y'all to come talk to my boys because I got
Yeah.
some boys in my job that really
Yeah.
need. See, I'm not a street dude,
Yeah.
and I keep it real with them. I tell
Yeah.
them, no, Mr. Mike, I just wanted to party and chase the women.
Yeah.
I wasn't ever in the streets,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna keep. I would have told.
Yeah.
I would have told y'all do something to me. I'm a civilian. I don't got nothing to do
Right.
with y'all codes. None of that. I went to college. I did my thing. Y'all, you do a crime on me. I'm telling.
Yeah.
So just so you understand that. But they respect that.
they don't.
But
Cause
I
you
don't-
straight up.
Yeah,
though.
but I don't understand that
They lame.
lane that
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
can come into
Yeah,
them
yeah,
about.
yeah.
That y'all did that,
Yeah.
saw that wasn't it.
Yeah.
And then y'all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They need to hear that kind
Nah,
of thing, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
definitely,
I
man.
want to thank y'all because in person, y'all the first Trenton podcast to ever let me come on their joint.
Yeah, nah, thank man.
You
We
know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
you for coming.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I am kind of weird. A lot of
appreciate
people don't really
Yeah.
like the because of the message I
Nah.
bring.
It ain't a weird
different,
message
man.
to me, bro. This is
know
this
what I
is
mean?
the
I'm
message.
different.
This
I'm
is
different.
but this is what the message is for us, you know.
Yeah.
Like man,
Yeah.
Craig, man. This
Yeah.
is the
Now
message
called me
for
and
us.
told me what it is. I said, oh yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
he like
Now
he
I
said this
yeah.
gonna be a good one. He like Craig, like, yeah, this gonna be a good
I
one.
know.
Yeah,
Craig,
I know him.
Yeah,
So nah, brother. This, but see, this is what we do, right? We could do the negative shit all day long.
Fact,
we could
fact.
sit, have conversations about women all day
Facts,
long.
yeah,
That's
facts,
easy
facts,
to do.
yeah.
We could fornicate. We could talk about how we want to have sex with women. We could do all that. We could talk about selling the drugs. We could talk about all that. We could talk about the nonsense of
Yes.
drinking, passing the bottle back and forth. That shit easy.
Yes.
The hardest part for all three of us is to go through what we went through and to be able to change, though.
Talk about
To be able to change,
Yeah, it
right? To
was-
let God transform us into something different, man.
It was for
That's
me,
the part.
It's he blessed me to be able to be an Israelite and to be able to have recovery.
Yeah,
Like being an Israelite is so the living part is strict.
Yeah.
There's certain things we can't do.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
but the same places I can't go because I'm an Israelite is the same places I can't go because of my recovery.
because of recovery.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So they work hand in
Yeah.
hand. I be telling this some of the bros in my church. I got a little cheat code over here called recovery.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to meetings every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they go home from the Shabbat.
Yeah.
They got to deal with the world and
Yeah.
do all that. It's hard for them to stay on. I'm going to meetings every day. I'm going out to speak.
Yeah.
I'm doing this and doing that. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I can't go to parties.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So when the Sabbath over, I can't go
You
to the
can't
bar.
go to the bar. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's helping
It's
me.
helping you structure you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Structure. Yeah.
being able to have both of them, and I got a wife that she ain't really playing no games. Like
Yeah.
she'll really call me on my stuff if
Yeah.
I'm what's the
That's
name?
a good
You know what I'm
thing.
saying? 100%.
That's a good
100%.
thing.
She's
Listen.
super into the
Yeah.
fitness, the
Okay.
eating,
See?
and the what's names
'Cause-
and stuff. Like she,
Yeah.
bro, I'm gonna tell you how she changed me. Like I swear, when we first got together, she used to be the one that used to always take her take her food everywhere with her. Okay. She come in with mad bags. Now you go look at my car, I got mad bags because I'm taking my own salads, I'm taking my own food.
Yeah.
I used to be like, why you got all that stuff? She used to be like, you'll see one day. And now, so we just had Feast of Unleavened Bread up in New York for our church. Our church in New Jersey, but we got a body in New York. We got like a church in every state.
Okay.
So we go over to the Bronx. They got it all over there. They got fried chicken, fish, lamb, lasagna, macaroni and cheese, blah, blah, blah. We got our bags. I got my fruit salad with us. Everybody already know how we coming. We come in, we sit down, they eat all that stuff. I'm sitting there eating my strawberries and my grapes and all of that stuff. And people looking at us, I'm like, nah, y'all playing around. I know what this do. You get what I'm saying? But I got that from her.
Yeah.
I got that from her.
Wonderful.
Like that whole lifestyle of
That's
supplements.
wonderful. Yeah.
I take a lot of supplements in the morning. You know what I mean? I take sea moss, I take elderberry, I take black seed, I take for the blood pressure, I take apple cider vinegar, and it's a tea. What's that red tea called? Hibiscus.
Which one? Hip?
Huh?
Hibiscus.
That's it.
Hibiscus.
I was at my grandma's house, and she was watching what's the name channel, the Christian channel.
Oh, that be showing the pastors and all that.
Whatever that channel is.
Yeah.
It was some Jewish dudes on there. And I'm listening to him because I be listening to them. Them people be trying to stay alive forever.
Yeah, forever.
So I'm listening to what he talking about.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it 100. And he was like, this hibiscus tea, if you drink 2 cups of this a day, it'll have you won't need no blood pressure medication.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I started taking that. Like I said, I take the sea moss, the elderberry. I take B12. I take D3, the liquids. I take and I eat a lot of fruits and I eat a lot of vegetables, man.
There you go, right there.
I know I talked y'all.
Nah, you ain't talking to death. That's what we needed.
This what we do.
Listen, this is what we do. You did. Listen. Hey, man, you talk on a lot of stuff that I ain't have to mention. I ain't have to talk about the vitamins and all that. See what I'm saying? Listen, you did it. Look, listen, it was about you today, man. It was your show, man.
What I do is, for real, what I want to do is, I'm gonna send both of y'all some paperwork.
Okay.
And if y'all really close like that, take each other through the joints.
Yeah.
It takes you to another level, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because as you go farther down, 6, you gotta tell everything on 5. At 6, you ask God to remove your defects of character. You know what I mean? 7, you ask him to remove your shortcomings. But then it get real at 8. You got to go to that list of all the people you harmed and all the people that you got resentments towards, and you got to make a list of all the people you got to go and make amends to. You get what I'm saying? So, you got to write everybody's voice down, and then I had to go out and apologize in person to all these people. You get what I'm saying? Even the people that I felt did something wrong to me, I had to apologize for my part in it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I might not be able to do that. Because I done tore some car windows, some women on the left, they think I'm all that now. I ain't even messing with you.
No. This is the thing.
You might be coming to my funeral and be like, damn, he tried. He tried.
This is the thing for this is the thing for step 9. This is the thing for step 9. It says you make amends except when to do so will injure you or injure the other person. So you don't go tell your ex-wife that you was cheating on her. You don't make those.
That's all I got is cheating. I ain't got nothing else. You tell me you had a pool site. Well, it was 6 of me. I was driving the car, pool site, and in the bed at the same time. You tell me you ever drive a car at the pool site and in the bed at the same time? You ever do that?
But look, this was but listen, man, this was great, Mike. Man.
Indeed, man.
But before we get ready to lock this and close this out, man, we got to turn it over to Craig real quick, man, for the tip of the day for y'all, man. We got to turn it over to Craig.
Hold up, man. I want you guys to check me out.
No, we got it. We got you. Yeah, no, we ain't done. We got you. Craig just got to get the tip.
I knew we was gonna have a good talk today, man. I was thinking about me and Doc about when we was in the joint about like reading, being on the book. You know, I was took a past workout. Then Mike kept on talking about this book. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm not even gonna give you a tip of the day. Tip of the day is just read.
Read, okay, that's the tip for the day,
The
man.
tip of the day is this a book
Just
I
read,
bought
man.
about a while ago, but I'm just saying the tip of the day.
Just
the tip
read,
of the day
man.
is just read.
Just read.
Just read, man. I was just thinking
pick
about
up a
now.
book,
You
whatever
look,
it is.
and that's God working.
That's God
You
working.
just talking about just read. You
Yep.
talking about the book, and I bought
Read,
the book.
yep, and you brought a book.
See how
See what I'm
that
saying?
powerful that is?
Indeed.
And
Just read.
I ain't know you was bringing no book either.
Just
So
read.
just
Indeed.
read,
That's
man.
all.
Indeed.
And then that's
all.
what it is, man. And you already know we're gonna let Mike, man, go ahead and let them know what you want them to know, Mike, before we close this out, where they can follow you at, about your
Indeed.
podcast, From Pain to Purpose. Let them know.
Yeah, From Pain to Purpose podcast. You can look it up on YouTube, From Pain to Purpose. A lot of my stuff be on Facebook on my page, Mike Melton. I still got the B-Ball Spotlight on Instagram. I'm gonna end up changing that over in a little bit to Pain to Purpose. Pain to Purpose on TikTok.
Okay.
But also what this brother was talking about, reading the books. Currently, right now on YouTube, on Facebook and YouTube, man, these brothers are doing 12 Steps to Christ, and right now we're on step 7.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So each week we come on and we do the podcast, we read through the book, and we comment on the thing. Now I just got this book called The Test of Life, where it talk about all these tests that God give you to pass you through. You know what I'm saying? The different tests of like how life will throw you tests.
Yeah.
So I'm about this. That might be the next book that we do on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And becoming sober definitely opened up my mind to read, man. And like I just be seeing your posts, and it's so real how health is really our wealth, man.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for having this platform and the things that y'all doing, man. It's just so dope to see positive energy out there, positive things that's going on, so to give people a shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to thank you guys,
man.
and I want to thank y'all for having me, and these dudes with this dope production. I feel like I ain't had this since I was on A&E Cold Case Files. Yeah, and the matter of fact, because of the brother, the episode on YouTube is called A Lesson in Homicide. If you go on there on YouTube, you could
Lesson in Homicide.
watch the whole. Yeah, because both of us was teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, both of us was teachers, so they
teachers.
called it A Lesson in Homicide.
A Lesson of Homicide.
Yeah, and then, you can watch the whole story, and you can see what happened, and it's a real inspirational story. You know what I mean? Because it take you through the whole thing. But I told them, because you don't get paid to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the reason I did it was because they said they was gonna do it with or without me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the detective was like, either you gonna tell your story or they're gonna
somebody else
and they're gonna depict you a certain way. You know what I mean? So so when I asked the dude, when the producer called me, I was like, as long as you do it where people can learn from it.
Yeah.
Like, and then once I saw it, I was like, yeah, this pretty dope. It's pretty dope the way they did it. You know what I mean? So I want to thank you guys. The bros said they're gonna send the clip.
Yeah,
I know I got my chopper. As soon as they send my joints, tell me all I do is flood my joint with videos. I got the highlight clips and everything. So I want to thank you guys, man.
We appreciate you, man, for coming on, man. We thank you, bro. Your story is very powerful. Just your transformation, the change, man, that could inspire so many people, man.
Yeah.
Because you got a purpose. You found
100%.
it. You found it.
100%.
You found it. No, God showed you, man. He helped you overcome so much, man. So keep going, bro. We appreciate your message every day. I love your message every day when I see you post. You know what I mean? I love it. No, because it is, and I would like to, I say it this way because it's not so much of positivity always down the timeline.
Nah.
Right? Of encouragement and pulling people up and trying to help people, right?
Yeah.
In these lights. So appreciate it. You keep going too, bro. And before we close this, man, we'd like to give a big shout out to the sponsors again, man. You already know Little Dreams, Big Dreams. The best mobile trainer around, man. Best mobile trainer around. If you need him to come to your door, your house, whatever, get with him, man. Get with Craig Mitchell, man. He got you, man. And you already know, if you're in the Mercer County area, Burlington, wherever local, man, you already know Team Chisel. We right here at 2695 South Broad Street. Big shout out for Kenya for sponsoring the month of March. Man, we just thank y'all. Listen, make sure y'all check us out, man. See y'all on the next one. Peace.